Hi guys, Wendy here from Draw So Cute. It's DIY time and today we're going to be making these really awesome pop-out surprise toy boxes. So let's get started. To make this pop-out surprise toy box, please go to my website at drawsocute.com and you can print out this free template that I've made for you just to make things easier so you don't have to do a lot of measurements. But the best thing to do is, if you can, to print this out on a harder stock paper just so that your box can be rigid enough to stand on its own. And there's 2 pages to this template. So the second page is these strips that I've made for you that you can cut out to make the accordion neck and the circle for the surprise element that fits nicely in the box. But if you don't have a printer, I know a lot of you don't have printers, this is a really easy template to make on your own. These boxes here are just 2 inch by 2 inch, and you just add your little tabs right here. And the only thing you have to notice is this box right here, which is also 2 by 2. You just want to be able to taper this part in a little bit. Notice it's not completely straight. You just want to taper in this little angle and give yourself a little line right here to cut out a slit, and a little mark right here for the hole to put a toothpick in. And these strips right here, you can make them anywhere from 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch thick. It doesn't really matter. And of course, whatever surprise element you want to put in here, just make sure it fits in this 2 by 2 inch square. So after you've printed out the template, or you've drawn your template on a harder stock paper, the first thing you want to do is to cut this shape out, and also to cut out these strips and the circle if that's what you're going to be using. So I've gone ahead and cut out the template right here. Just make sure that you're going to be using a stiffer paper and cut out the strips as well right here. And so after you've cut everything out, the first thing you want to do is notice this circle right here that I've given you. Take a needle or a pin right here and just poke a hole through it right here through the center. So if you don't have a needle, just get a pin, any kind of sharp object that you can use to make a hole through it, and get a toothpick and just make sure your toothpick can fit through it. So just poke your toothpick through it just to make sure it can go through. And then the second step is you want to take this end right here and you want to cut this little slit right here. If you have an X-Acto knife, it would be the easiest thing just to cut a little slit right there. But I know a lot of you don't have X-Acto knives. What you can do is take a pair of scissors, just bend it a little bit right here. Hopefully you can see that. And it might mess up the paper a little bit, but if you don't have an X-Acto knife, this is something you can do just to make it a little bit easier. So just bend it a little bit and then just cut right there. So then now you've cut through. The next step is to fold at these dotted lines that I've provided for you. So it's really easy because it's small. You can just go ahead, and you've already cut at these points right here. It's really easy to just go ahead and fold over, and just make sure the paper is nice and straight right here so that when you fold down, it's also straight right here. So you can go ahead and do that for all of the dotted line areas. Next thing you want to do is to flip it over. And the reason you're flipping it over is because this is where you're going to be coloring on this side, the side that has no lines. And the reason is because when you fold this box together, you don't want to see all these dotted lines, so that's why you're having it on the inside. So make sure you flip it over and take a piece of paper under it, and this is where you can start to color. So whatever design you want to do, just go ahead and color it. And these tabs right here don't matter, so you can totally go over it and it won't matter because you're going to be folding it in and gluing it. So don't worry about it. And the reason you want to put paper under it so is that you don't mess up the paper underneath whatever your table. And I want to show you really quickly, when you're coloring it, whatever design you want to do, this is the bottom of the box. So I'm just going to write bottom here just to show you. This is the back, and I'm going to go backwards, upside down, so that whatever you design here is going to be upside down. This is the top right there, so it's going to be facing this way, whatever design you do. This is going to be the side, so but it has to face this way, and this will face this way. And this is the, oops, this is the front right here. So I'm just gonna write front. And it's gonna be facing this way. So that whatever design you do, when you put it together, notice when I put everything together, it's gonna make sense. So just notice the box, this is the top, it's facing me, the front is facing the right way, the sides are correct. So even the back is gonna be correct, right? So just make sure, whatever design you decide to do, that this square right here will be upside down and these will be facing right side up and the sides right here. So just a little tip so that you don't start drawing and then you start folding and you go, oh no, it's the wrong way. So after you've colored everything, it's basically going to look like this right here. This is what I've done right here. So this is the design I've done. It's the emoji one. So now that I have everything nicely colored in, the next step is to glue our box together. So I'm going to take a piece of paper underneath it and I'm going to apply glue right here on these tabs. So I like to use a glue stick so it's a less mess. And I'm just going to apply glue right here on the edges like that, on this one too, on this side and this side. So be generous with your glue, and I'm gonna flip it over now and start to connect my boxes. So it's just gonna stick right there. Just make sure that your edges line up nicely. So after you've made your box, the next step is to fold your accordion neck. So I've gone ahead and cut out these strips right here. And the reason I have so many strips is because I realized as I folded, my paper is not long enough. I actually need 2 of these strips to, for it to be long enough for it to pop out of this box. So just take your strips and join them together. So an easy way is just to get some tape right here, or you can glue them, but tape is just a lot easier. Just take a small piece of tape and tape it together. Oops. Like that. And just do it on the other side as well, just so that it's stronger. So you just want to tape it together, and you want to do another one. So you just need 2 of these long strips right here. So this strip right here is it's just the length of the paper. So this is about 11 inches right here. So I'm going to need 2 of them. So now it's 22-inch strip. If you don't have a printer, you can just cut it out. And so I'm going to tape another one because I need 2 of them. So I'm just going to flip it over and tape it together. It's just much easier than glue. Okay, so now that I've taped it together, now to start to weave the accordion neck. So I wanted to show you really easily how you can weave it. So you take the 2 strips, and the first step is to just put one over the other, right, like that. And then start to fold. You're gonna fold this one over, and just make sure it doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure it's as close as possible to this square, to retaining this shape of a square. And so you just want to hang on to it. And one tip is, as you fold one after the other, don't press down too hard on it. Don't squash it. Just give it a nice, just a gentle fold over, and then a fold over. You don't want to squash the neck right here. You don't want to squash it flat. And it's because the more you squash it, the flatter this accordion becomes, and it's not going to pop out as much. So just fold it very gently. Just go back and forth like this. There, this is basically the accordion neck that I folded together. So what you want to do now is to go back to the end where you started and just tape it together. See how there's these loose ends right here? Just the first 2 maybe. Just tape it together or you can glue it, but I'm just gonna tape it just to make it easier. So I'm just gonna cinch it together like that so that there's no nothing's flapping out. So it's just one solid base right here. And so then basically you want to take your box back and just kind of try it out. So notice there's always going to be some kind of bend. It's what you want to do, however your neck bends, you want to be able to face it in a way where the neck will bend towards the front, where it's going to pop out. Whatever you fold, you want to be able for it to come out tall enough that it will pop out. So let's say you're folding and it doesn't look tall enough, just add to this paper and just keep folding. Or if you think it's too long, you can just take off, just cut it off, and you don't have to make it that long. So from what I've done right here, it's kind of long. What I can do is I can squash it down a little bit so it doesn't pop out as much. Use this right here, and I'm gonna cut off the excess right here. Let's see, go this way. And I'm gonna tape this part in too, just like the bottom, so that it's nice and nice flat base right there. So I have these two nice flat bases to work with. So now that you're done with this neck right here, you want to work on whatever you want to put up here as your surprise element. Whatever you decide to make, it just has to fit in this 2 by 2 inch box so that you can close the lid. So I hope this project really inspires you to use your imagination, depending on who you want to give it to, or what you will put as your surprise element. So what I've done is I've gone ahead, because this is an emoji box right here, it's an emoji theme. I've gone ahead and drawn my surprise element, which is the winking, kissing emoji. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here in the center on top of my neck. So you can glue it, or you can use double-side tape. But if you don't have double-side tape, what I like to do is just get a piece of tape and make my own double-side tape. So basically this is, the bottom is the sticky part. I'm just gonna fold it over and fold this part over and stick it together. And then just squash it down. So now I have a double-side tape right there. And what I like to do is just right here, I'm gonna put this piece of tape right here on top. And then I'm going to put my surprise element right smack in the center. But before I do that, once again, I want to make sure that it's bending the way I want, whichever way my neck is bending is how I want to face my emoji. So let's see here, I don't want it that way for sure. I want to bend it out this way, so it's going to be facing this way. And I'm going to stick my emoji right here in the center. And the reason I like using double-side tape is you can always change it really easily. You can just pop it out and change to another element. Okay, so now I have this on my neck right here. You want to stick this to the center of your box now. So once again, you can use glue or double-side tape or make your own. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my own right here for the bottom. So same thing, I'm going to find the center of this box and I'm going to stick this right in the middle. So I'm just going to push down a little bit right here towards the bottom. And it's inside. Ta-da! Okay, so then I'm going to squash this part back in. So my neck is a little bit long, so I'm just going to squash it down a little bit so that it doesn't pop out too much. And basically that's it. So this tricky part is to squash it down, get in there, and close your lid. So once you're done with the surprise element and the box, the next thing you want to do is to work on the little pull tab here with the toothpick. So get your toothpick, and what you want to do is to cut off one of the sharp ends right here. So I'm going to cut it off about like this much. Right there. And then I'm going to attach a little piece of paper right here that's going to say pull. So it's just a little strip of paper, and I just kind of used the remaining parts of the accordion strip. And I'm just going to fold a piece of paper in half over it. So you can kind of adjust to see how you want it. It doesn't have to be this shape. It could be a heart, be whatever you want. And so I think it's a little bit too thick. I'm just going to make it a little bit thinner. And after you've done that, what you want to do is to apply a lot of glue to this piece of paper right here so that your toothpick will stick in there nicely. So you want to do it with the blunt end. You can even put some glue on your toothpick right here. And just wrap it up. So right here, I'm going to wrap up my toothpick right here and just squeeze and wait for it to dry so that the paper will hold on to the toothpick. And that the toothpick is nice and straight in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna speed this along and hopefully it'll dry. But after you've done that, you can go ahead and write the word pull on there if you want it. So I've got this little pull device right here, and what you want to do is this hole that I've provided for you right here is where you want to put the toothpick through, right there. So just make sure it goes in nicely. See this little slit that I provided for you? Take your toothpick in there and just kind of pop it out a little bit. Just put your toothpick in there and make a little gap, and then it wants to come out already. Stay inside. Okay, so then take your toothpick, push your lid in a little bit, and put that toothpick in there, like that. And push all the way through. So they're all done. Now for the big reveal. Ready? I'm gonna go ahead and pull it. Here we go. Ta-da! Yay, it worked! So for the other one right here, the Pokemon ball. Ready? Here we go. Hope this one works too. Ta-da! It's Pikachu! So this one was a little bit more ambitious. I decided to, instead of just a round circle, I decided to actually put a Pikachu in here. So whatever you decide to put in here, like I said, just make sure it fits in this 2 by 2 inch square. And if it has ears or whatever things that kind of come out, just fold it down. So like what I've done with Pikachu here, I folded him down. And the other tip is just to make sure this neck of yours, if it gets too squashed down, just pull it up. Just stretch it when you want to surprise somebody, and then just push it down a little bit, and it should totally work again. In case sometimes it might be too squashed and it won't pop out as easily. So that's it for this pop out surprise toy box. Hope you guys really love this DIY project that I've created for you guys. And make sure to go to my website if you don't want to draw the box yourself, and there's a free template on there. And happy crafting, and I hope this really inspires you to make this for somebody that you love and that you want to surprise. Thanks so much for watching, and if you guys love this little project, please give me a thumbs up and share it, and remember to subscribe so you won't miss any new Draw So Cute videos. See you later.